Hello, good evening. Today is Tuesday, another opportunity for us to have this legal hour. We thank you all for being there and supporting the City Law Solicitors Legal Hour program, which is brought to you every Tuesday and Thursdays. It's been a very amazing year. We've had COVID, we had changes in the law, we have so many changes that have taken place throughout the year. And as we speak, new legislations are still going through the parliament. Some of us are already aware, especially with immigration, some of the changes that are coming up. Under family law, we know that next year by April, there will be no for divorce legislation in place. So there are a lot of changes that have been happening. So tonight, I'll do this program both in Twi and English, and I will just be able to, I think it's an opportunity for us to discuss what we've been doing for those of you who have been following us and those who have just joined us. If this is the first time that you've joined us, we've been doing this program for almost a year now, and every Tuesday and Thursdays we come here to give followers, viewers, and listeners update of the law. I must say that we are very grateful to all our followers who have been there, consistently. And as I said when we had the last program, MC Chaka is going to be on Thursday, and on Thursday, which is going to be the end of the year program, because obviously there will be Christmas and then the New Year, and then we will seek to come your way with different programs that will be quite beneficial to you and your family, and to promise to keep you updated with all the legal issues that concern you in this country, especially the law within England and Wales. So on Thursday, we'll have this award show where we'll be rewarding people who have been following us. Last time I said that when I checked my phone, somebody sent me a certificate from Facebook, and that certificate clearly showed that she's been a consistent and a fan, a follower of City Law Solicitors. And Facebook gave that person a badge, and he sent a badge to me. So I am entreating all of you who, one way or the other, have got that badge to send it to us. If you have my contact, you can send it to my WhatsApp. If you don't have my contact, I will give the studio numbers, which is the numbers that we normally use in this studio. You can send that back to us, because on Thursday we are going to collate all this data and reward you. MC Chaka said that City Law Solicitors is the only firm that gives free legal advice Tuesday, Thursdays, both in Twi and English, and at the same time reward followers and viewers with gifts. Yes, we are doing this for the community. It's part of our corporate social responsibility for us to be there and also to acknowledge the fact that people commit and dedicate their time to watch this show, because without them, this whole program will not be a success. So tonight I'm not going to be here for long. Just going to assure you that we are still here. This program will continue in the new year. On Thursday, we are going to have a very wonderful show with MC Chaka live in this studio, rewarding those who deserve some awards and some gifts for being there and for sharing our videos, for referring clients to City Law Solicitors, and for helping our publicity to the community. So these are the people that we are going to identify to reward. And I'm sure that most of you by now would have received your badge from Facebook. So if you have that badge, send that badge to us. I'm going to call the phone lines. And obviously, you should be, if you have the badge, I think that if you can either send it to my contact. If you don't have it, you can send it to the studio lines, which is 0793 293 4518 or 0744 033 8623. We have a lot of gifts for most of you. And I'm sure that most of you by now would have been receiving badges from from Facebook concerning City Law Solicitors. Clearly shows your commitment and your dedication and your support and loyalty for a good cause, which is to watch, view, listen to the legal hour either on Tuesday and Thursdays or both. So we appreciate that commitment, and it is for that reason we are going to be rewarding you. As I've said, today I'm not going to be here for long. I always say that, yes, we do a lot of stuff under the family law, and obviously last week we had a very wonderful show about clean break, which is an element of the financial settlement when people have gone their separate ways, their relationships has broken down, they've gone through their divorce, and then they don't have to leave stuff hanging. So we did that under the family law. But tonight I'm going to look at the Home Secretary's speech delivered on the 12th of December. I'm going to look at that speech, the content of that speech, and especially about immigration, because I always say that immigration is life. And the fact is that everyone is connected. You may fall in love with somebody abroad and you want to bring that person as a spouse. You may have a spouse whose parents are abroad. You may have friends who may want to visit you for this Christmas. So it doesn't matter your nationality. One way or the other, you get entangled in this immigration stuff. And it is for this reason that we always have to update people about some of these things so that people can always be aware of their rights. So tonight, as I've said, is going to be very short show. I will spend just a few minutes here in the studio because I'll wait MC Chaka on Thursday so that we can have a very beautiful show in this studio. So I entreat all of you to make time. I know Friday is Christmas Eve, and that's why we're doing it on Thursday. So it will be our last final year show, and then hopefully in the new year, God willing, all of us, we see 2022, and then we can continue to bring you this show that we bring to you all the time. So I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to look at the Home Secretary's speech. This speech is so important to me, and I'm sure that some lawyers have already discussed some of these things on various platforms. So some of these things that I'm going to talk about are not new to most of you. But notwithstanding, it is still important that we discuss them, because I always say that knowledge is power. And therefore, if you have knowledge, obviously, it gives you an edge over those who don't have that knowledge. So, as I've said, I'm going to just look at the Home Secretary's speech. And specifically, I have chosen some elements that are relevant to migration. Remember, the Home Secretary is not just about immigration, it's about security, looking at how our borders are protected, looking at how the police can keep us safe, and amongst other areas that affects our security in this country. But obviously, mainly people are concerned, especially those who are from other countries or foreigners or immigrants. They are more concerned with some of the aspects of the immigration. And that's why I've chosen to look at the speech and the aspect that concerns you. I'm sure by now people are aware of the Nationality and the Borders Bill 2021. It's currently in Parliament. It has gone through the third reading with 67 majority. It will go through the Lords. There could be some amendment to the bill. But essentially, there are two main areas of major concern to a lot of people. And if you look at the bill, I don't want to read the Home Secretary's speech because I'm sure that most of you might have read it on various platforms, in newspapers, on the TV. But for those of you who probably might not have seen the speech was actually delivered on the 12th of December, and amongst the other things that were discussed, she clearly spoke about a lot concerning, the 16th of December, concerning immigration. And under that section, the Home Secretary was more concerned about controlling our borders. And clearly, all of you also are aware that after leaving the European Union, there is no free movement of EU citizens and their families, including third country national family members. And of course, with the Citizens' Rights Regulation 2020, clearly we come to the end of the road where free movement is no longer in force. But with the free movement coming to an end, it also has opened opportunities for people who also want to take advantage of the current immigration system, especially apprentice-skilled worker, which allows businesses to obtain licenses from the Home Office. And then with those licenses, they are able to attract global talents. So now you hear that people from Ghana, Nigeria, being able to apply from Ghana or Nigeria or Zimbabwe, any part of the world, to join their employers in the UK, for example, nurses, especially those occupations in the shortage list. So even though free movement has come to an end, within controlling our borders, the Home Secretary has made it clear that this is an opportunity for businesses to also get what we call sponsorship license to attract global talents. So EU people can equally apply for the same job from the EU member states. And people from my country, Ghana, can also apply and then come here and work as long as that employer has a sponsorship license and they are willing to offer that job to that person who falls within the shortage list of the occupation list. So it's an opportunity for people to take advantage. So if you have a company and you are struggling, of course, obviously, with all the stuff happening, even employees are very cautious. Employers are struggling sometimes to recruit in certain areas of certain services in a serious shortage of staff. So if you own a company or you practice in any of these areas, it's an opportunity for you to take advantage of this licensing system and then recruit people from abroad to be able to work for you. So it's still ongoing. We know people who follow us, some of us have learned what we discussed on other panels FM. They've taken advantage of it. They've been able to make successful applications, and then they here some are coming in next year to come and be working for those employers. So it's a good news. So let me also look at the bill, which is the Nationality and Borders Bill, which has gone through its third reading with 67 majority. And we realize that there are significant parts of the bill that is of much concern to people. And there have been a lot of noise. I want to start with the maximum sentence of 4 years. In fact, when I finish this term, I'll translate it in Twi, because obviously I should have done this program in Twi, but on Thursday is going to be the end of year award, so we will not have time to perhaps discuss law. So tonight I need to be able to serve the people who follow us both on Thursday and Tuesdays, especially those who want to follow us and listen to us in English, including those who want to be listening to Twi as well. So it is for this reason that when I finish explaining some of these things in English, then I'll explain a little bit in Twi so that everybody can understand what I'm saying tonight, because I want all of us to learn something so that we enter into the new year abreast with the facts and the current legislation and all the things that are likely to happen around us, especially about migration. So as I was saying, that aspect of the bill that is of major concern is that of maximum sentence of 4 years for knowingly living here illegally. So the word here is very, very important, knowingly. And I'm sure that people who have been campaigning against this bill were looking at the fact that it will deter people to come across the channel, asylum seekers who want to come in here and seek asylum and all that. It will probably deter them. And it will not serve as a pulling factor, which means that when people come here on visit for 6 months, then they go back at the end of their visit. And if they don't and they are apprehended by immigration officers, then of course they could receive maximum sentence of 4 years, custodial sentence. But I want people to understand that this is not something new. This is not something new. Yes, the sentence has increased to 4 years. But I must let you know that this has always been in place under the Immigration Act 1971. The maximum sentence then for an illegal immigrant who is apprehended was 6 months. So when we say maximum, it means that the threshold of the custodial sentence has been extended from 6 months to 4 years. And obviously, I'm sure that when the details of the barrels are out, obviously there will be sentencing guidelines for judges in order to be able to assess why people should have those maximum sentence. But that's why immigration lawyers were here. So I don't want people to be so terrified of this bill, because clearly, under the 1971 Act, we have sentence for illegal immigrants, but it is rarely, very uncommonly used. It was not used. Mainly when people are apprehended. Obviously, remember we've done a lot of programs on unlawful detention and all those stuff. So clearly, when people are detained, there could be other reasons why they should not be detained and all that. So I am here to encourage people to understand that this is not something new. If somebody told you, oh, now if you're illegal, there's going to be 4 years maximum sentence. Look, there have always been a sentence for people, but it is rarely used. Because if you look under the old act, it was 6 months. But obviously, this has received immense publicity. So I want to tell you that this is not new. So that's the first aspect of the Home Secretary's speech delivered on the 16th of December. I'm looking at those extracts, those parts that are relevant to you. Now, if you also look at the clause 9 of the bill, which has also attracted immense public attention, where people are deprived of their British nationality without notice. Again, it is not everybody that is going to be deprived of their nationality, British nationality, without notice. It is under very limited exceptional circumstances, which is where revealing that information, for example, will affect public security. Tell me, how many people are going to be in that category? Only few people. So which means that people will say receive notice to be able to challenge these decisions when it becomes necessary. So again, I want to encourage you, don't be terrified. Immigration lawyers, we are here. Your specialists are always here to support you. The system is, I would say, fair, because most times when decisions are made, they can be challenged. I have a client who had made about 3 applications. All of them had been refused. I had the opportunity to challenge it in the tribunal. So some of these decisions are susceptible to challenge, and people are going to do quite rightly so. So I'm sure that there have been a lot of news out there. People are terrified. I came here tonight to tell you that some of these things are not the way the media frenzy is presenting it. They are not. So that's the second aspect of this Nationality Borders Bill that has alarmed so many people. That I want you to understand that. Don't be alarmed. I've already said that under the 1971 Act, we already had sentencing for offenders such as illegal immigrant, people who are apprehended as illegal immigrants. I've always said out that it's only on the limited circumstances that people's nationality will be stripped off without further notice to them. Let me also look at our EU people, our EU citizens and their family members, and then the scheme. I think it's important that I read this aspect of the speech, this part of the speech, because somebody came to us and he was very worried that he's supposed to make application, and if he feels that somebody has said that, oh, by January there will be no settlement scheme, or February there will be no settlement scheme, it would have come to an end. Yes, I must admit that currently it is very, very difficult to make applications under the settlement scheme, especially when you cannot demonstrate that you were here before December 2020. People can still make late applications, but I must warn people, if you cannot show by documentary, genuine, visible evidence that you were here before December 2020, whether you are the applicant or the sponsor, in terms of proof of address and all that, then you are likely to struggle, and to say the least, for that application to be refused. But the Home Secretary's speech, there was a promise that was made to people, and that promise, as I read, to take few minutes to read it before I come to the end of my show tonight, it says that following the UK's departure from the European Union, a considerable number of our EU friends and neighbors decided to make their home and secure their status to which they are entitled to through hugely successful settlement scheme. And in conclusion, he said that we have continued to work as quickly as possible to conclude applications, as well as supporting people with late applications. And the scheme remains open indefinitely for late applications. So this is the Home Secretary's speech. He says that these applications, the settlement scheme, is open indefinitely. The only hindrance here is that if you cannot show that you were here before December 2020, then probably don't even attempt it, because that application is likely to be refused. But the scheme, according to the Home Secretary's speech delivered on the 16th of December, is open indefinitely. So if somebody told you that by February it's going to come to an end, say that Lawyer Thomas said it's not true. It's a fiction. The facts is what I'm giving to you on this platform. So viewers, as I've said, tonight was just to let people be aware that this City Law program, Legal Hour, has come to stay, and to also to acknowledge viewers and to thank them for their immense support, commitment, and dedication, and also to encourage people to send those badges that they have received from Facebook so that we can have the opportunity to reward them. We have a lot of gifts out there. I have some in my bag. I was meant to come and put it on display, but sadly I've left my bag outside the studio. But in any event, this is the announcement I want to make. Without wasting my time, I want to just give a little bit of this summary in Twi. I tell for me the moon answer, and I do me by say, Mama, I wear say, when here na yɛda mu nyinaa sɛ yɛde dwumadie wei ɛhyɛ ase no mu nyinaa motumi aboa matam biara mo betie nsɛ muni hɔ no mo a anka dwuma no ɛnkɔ so enti no the ayɛ ne sɛ yɛaba end of the year adwuma a mo ayɛ ne sɛ mo hwɛ mo share your videos mo refer clients ma yɛ ne nyinaa yɛhu tie da mo ase na yɛmfa anokwa ɛna mo ase ya wa chaja kanka so be say de mamu nti wo bia na Facebook ama wo page say we City Law Solicitors fan no send sa badge no fa my the studio numbers now to join already my science my fan to ho no mo studio numbers no so with me asande will akoso what's in there, and I want my contact now. Send this badge in the mommy, we snapshot, not as a mommy. I'll make sure I get you award. At the moment, we are also collecting for more share videos near there. Obviously, no, na yet me a reward you also. But all badge in for my. One when him say, Hano, you can't a lot of, in fact, different legal areas. One of them like family law, immigration, employment, personal injury, clinical negligence. Instead of being a Becca. Now, and I may imagine say, may discuss it very briefly. My Home Secretary in his speech on my since December 2021, 16th of December 2021, his speech, you know. My first speech in my year in Yamabia, I did deliberately, me pet some go for a bonk of whom be brave. A crew has saying, I could boy a home by Tambia. And some who and I room uncle for no. And you're right. And the American say, we shall Home Secretary speech now. Yes, I almost say a fee EU. But we shall speech now clearly, no, or Pacha say a fee EU. And he said, oh, Ghana crown puno. That's all on Sano Juma. That's it. O skills, and I say, a Juma out to me, yen. A Juma come half here. That's it. We are Ghana new crown or company or I say, obey to match a license. Now, for the all the way from Ghana to Nabana by Jumamo. A idea Uncle 4 year, my year a lot of programs on my platform, so I'm Uncle 4 say, or Monche. Now, when you're an Uncle 4 framing, yeah, sponsors, my advice. And in the background, person apply, or very fair company, be a okay NHS now near Jumana. Now you're next for Ghana. Now I apply. Or more flower, or more mouse sponsorship, now they are back. Sana a tear. And here, fee you no, and you're so bad. I open further opportunities. I'm Uncle 4 about which we know you're no Muslim food in answer. Students here are more and since you have been almost after 2 years, we are reducing with another 2 years. Eventually, with situations which may transit. Nina are there if you know, the other can near my home. Now, Nyama, me nubia, a hank of 4, you who uncle from Besang of 40 years, we share nationality and borders bill now. Almost illegal immigrants at Choa, Sabel no, in receiving the royal assent, Queen Emphanis, I shall say. He said, that's all Parliament. Uncle for a year campaign, yeah, the one where on Bessie Sanson, Yamani, and my emra. Kofwasha that I started born Teuru. Yes, I understand, because third readings never called Parliament, majority no, 67. Now, I heard say immigration, no, Krum call Parliament, or Muntumin can want some. I'm going to go to the back to be I was no be idea from side or not by Emra. And his original answer, Bernard third reading receiving 67 majority is likely say a House of Law, sir. On be passes Amrano. Now, Mrano, I must say, so what's no room I say, and say, we are illegal no 4 years maximum sentence. But some of 40 years say, I can't 4 years maximum sentence, and on chair say, a chair wide local 4 years. A shamra almost be a fan of sentencing guidelines. Sentencing guidelines, no. Eventually, judges, how so it would be any problem now. How I meet me a sentencing. And then secondly, almost say no willy. And if you could now buy, say, no, be a near Bibintinama, be a crowd application to or train, be a maybe. It's only when it's knowingly. That's the second 10% of what you say. And most importantly, Saturday we are new. We share Immigration Act 1971 now. Our honorable say illegal immigrant. Normally, no. It did according to me 6 months maximum sentence. And you share more idea we were what that. Now instead of 6 months, no more they call 4 years, no more they move now call 4. But almost you should. For a very long time, I'm even surprised. He said, be a client, be a channel double identity near there. No, be a denny too. But most times, you know, in Krata, you don't call detention. So, good reason. Lawyer give bail amount. anti saa mmara we enye mmara a yefoforo ma mo mfa yemfa nwuhura mo eye mmara ho de daada 1971 act no ewom just say sentence na 6 months no and o may be increase akọ 4 years and mpo no enye meye mmara bikwa na nkoye mmara because akwesa asala mfo ne ade no mo say encouraging kofo mo ba ha say enti o mo ye ne saa de na chese nkofo emma but enya meye mmara enti dede na o mo ye na ade huhu am pese nkofo tie asese saa de we enya bibi foforo e ho de daada misramu you for so de tambia ya fi you mustambia asmo asemba ma ridi ewo potokasem sisia Home Secretary ne say EU settlement scheme no late applications no hono indefinitely kese onye na adwen so be krusu ekena na ekinachi na me pese me bonko fokoko say na say omota refuse pa so ni proof of address and say any amano na so be yes application there say odwen ho mienu because I say that's the only way on person making sure say nkofo for me kan because we share system na the system no ye create from kofa no more hanomo before December 2020 na ebu ha wa tena kun ha be 15 years 8 years and so bibi ba kokko ani ni din na woni mianti ade we aye din ama sa nkofo no sese obi fi Germany and Italy na oba no so ha 2020 so di bibi kire se no ha wanya bibi anche se stani pa kono fi Germany and Italy aba no nti krom ha se onso wuti krom ha se be 8 years onso ni bibia wo de be kire se na wa ha and oni de ofi ama no ne aba no we ye de say ye refuse ne de I be refuse onso wo de eno ne ade nti ama dokwa de e ba kompe menso me ye adwuma yi bi ama ye say mu ayeden pa but settlement scheme no said the Home Secretary na kan e hono mo indefinitely enya ade a ye ba betwa mu ekina chi anti we are there end of the year message no me de be tronkofo anim a Home Secretary and also the end of year speech our dear parliament and I'm out to me boys and I'm a ye here and I'm a baba church in watch a tifo so they are more be too monful and then I said a mecano mention and no cushion time I may adoma Thursday in your house a very awards night yes remo Muna moye we mo mekae me the phone lines no atwa chro so I receive Facebook badge na first Sunday I was our numbers in the so and I say who am contact first Sunday me they were chatting be bree e man kofo that ma menua madam for MC Jack was a city law services so mo kwa no be man free legal advice na mo san a charge yes ye adwuma eto bi a Jessica eto bi nso a yenso eboa community no sanya ma we nyina ade and I beg for no so ye ni nso se tem bia mo so we boa adwuma no mo so mo boa ye mo boa ma city law no agiba bia se city no wo fo ba bia city law no agiba bia tini na ye mo adwuma pa mo ye da mo ase edinti na ye ba be bo mo apa so a ya just say Thursday into was a badge ni bia send mame enti ende se de meka ye no men che wo studio ha sei men ye me open phone lines me senya me inshira ene na bambo ema obia ehunahuna no me mpe enti na tambia matesa ye huna nkofo a na maba na mabeka no kwane omu no adwuma no mo de ba ya muntina ya ha se ye beboa mo ye mpe hunahuna bia saa niema we na bibiri na ho dada bibia nia maximum sentence is always there. It is very rarely used prison no crime for bibiri na ya ma this has said about 4 years because I do be crew you know mesre mo mankofo esa dan kofo eyam hyehyeo mo moda mo ntumi nda mesre mo obi anya hypertension wa say mesre mo why and the city law no yentam bia no ko bia obi a de ba beto manim why and one say mo man say mo be share video no na will bring you nothing by the truth me do bia say me ba ha me can facts me can sort of fiction facts Nokre na meba platform is ba be kan kyerɛ mu. Enti me still biara says and sensem na motete no. Me ba show yi so na na bi wo na wate na wonte ase a. Free show yi so. E free be kyerɛkyerɛ mu. Enti se de me kan ye no. Me do biara se emre biara no wo be kan ho na ye adwuma yi kama. Viewers and listeners, I bring this program to an end. On Thursday, our famous Leonard MC Chaka will be here with us to grace the show, our end of year legal show. And obviously, we'll be able to celebrate and give people awards as I've been announcing continuously. So if you have received your Facebook badge, send it to us so that we can reward you. We are also collating all those people who have been sharing our videos so that we can also reward them accordingly. I thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you want to view this video later, share the video so that people can get the awards. We have a lot of awards here for them. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you.